How y'all doing? I'm Doc Wrestling, and welcome to another episode on Don't Oversell Wrestling of What If. And in this episode, we're going to talk about what if CM Punk never left for WWE. And in fact, I'm also throwing there what if AJ Lee didn't leave. So let's get to it. Now, as usual, we get into the history. We all know CM Punk been in WWE for years. He had the two-time Money in the Bank wins, World Heavyweight Championship win. He did the Straight Edge Society and the Max Straight Edge Society, which didn't go anywhere. But it wasn't until his 2011 Pipe Bomb that he had blew up, and that's what gave us that Summer of Punk. Granted, he had a horrible story with Kevin Nash, and I don't even think he ended up fighting Kevin Nash. And then he had another horrible story with Ryback and everybody else that was mid-carders. But at the same time, we had an awesome 434-day reign as CM Punk champion. Best in the world. Now, he didn't come back to Raw after the Royal Rumble. He actually told Vince McMahon in 2014, he told Vince McMahon and Triple H, like, hey, I need some time off. I need a break. I got injuries, blah, blah, blah. And they refused to give it to him. So he ended up just leaving and not coming back until July 15, 2014. They had made him an alumni on the WWE website. But actually, they had already gave him his termination papers in June of 2014 on his actual wedding day. In that time span, he was actually still signed to WWE, but at the same time, they didn't know if he was going to come back, pop up, or just not come to agreement. So he stayed home, and he ended up coming out and saying, I will never wrestle again. Now, by AJ Lee being his wife, she kind of just followed suit. Like, hey, my husband's not with this company. He doesn't want to wrestle here. I'm not really feeling what's going on either, so I'm about to get up out of here with you. And at the time, I don't know if a lot of people was paying attention to the product, but AJ Lee had a combined 406 days as women's champion at the end of her tenure with WWE. And I really want you to understand that it wasn't the fact of it wasn't too many female wrestlers there. No, it wasn't. It was, just wasn't that many good ones. Now, the things we would have to change. We would have to definitely change CM Punk's relationship with the McMahons and Triple H, because without that, there would be no coexisting when it comes down to WrestleManias and these big events that were coming up, because we got to realize right after CM Punk left, the Shield came in. Well, the Shield was there, but they had made that split up that year. Seth Rollins ended up getting the Money in the Bank. Triple H ended up going and making Evolution. Batista left WWE again. So, it was a lot of stuff going on, but a lot of people wouldn't have been able to fill the gap, especially with good wrestlers like CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles coming into the picture with Seth Rollins in the picture already. Now, I know it sounds crazy, but at the same time, it's going to be appreciated. Remember when Undertaker left and then he came back as Biker Taker? Everybody missed him. Nobody knew where he was. It's not like we were looking for him, but at the same time, it was a WrestleMania going on that the Undertaker wasn't in. Now, if we do that same thing, if we just rewind time, go back to that January 25th Royal Rumble in 2014 and say, hey, Punk, thanks for the Rumble, take a break. Because at the time, he had a MRSA staph infection, he had broken ribs, injured knees, multiple concussions, stuff that wasn't just going to take 2-3 months to get over. And in that time, it honestly would have gave fans the opportunity to miss him, because after going 400 some days of this and another run of this and a run of that and the Straight Edge and the Money in the Banks, that catches up to you. So that year break would have been awesome. He could have came back refreshed, bigger, stronger, faster, new move. Who knows? The Judas effect could have been his move at the time. And it wouldn't have hurt the company to not have Punk there, because ultimately Punk not being there not just caused it, but it helped the Yes movement and helped Daniel Bryan main event that WrestleMania that year. So with that being said, it wouldn't have hurt anything if Punk would have took a year off. We'd have still got Seth Rollins with Money in the Bank. We still would have got Daniel Bryan in the Yes movement. Unfortunately, Undertaker losing at WrestleMania. Randy Orton taking the spill and then coming back and being a good guy, and a whole bunch of different stuff that happened in 2014. So Punk leaving wouldn't have hurt anything. If anything, it would have helped the business, and it would have helped us start to see these matches that we would want to see now. Now, I gotta add, CM Punk had already wrestled a lot of people from Ring of Honor that had came over to WWE. So him versus Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, all that stuff had really already happened if you wanted to see it in Ring of Honor. But if you wanted to see it on a bigger stage, of course, we would have got those SummerSlam matches, those Hell in a Cells, TLCs, excuse me, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble matches that we've always wanted to see on a WWE stage. Now, let me go to AJ Lee. AJ Lee was like one of the only good female wrestlers of her time. That whole 406 days that she was wrestling, she pretty much was wrestling herself every week. And Caitlyn, sorry. Her spear was vicious. But if we'd have waited 1.5 years later, we'd have seen the Women's Revolution coming and the 4 Horsewomen coming up and coming into the main roster. Eventually, yeah, Paige came up and she had to hold it down with AJ for the little bit of time that they were together. But it was really nobody else. Natalya, Tamina, the Bellas, if you count them as wrestlers, because talent isn't sexually transmitted. But she would have had a prominent league to come into and actually help develop and build up on. Shoot, we might even have got CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Triple H and Stephanie if things went the right way at WrestleMania. I hope you enjoyed my video. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at DocDOSW, or YouTube, Don't Oversell Wrestling, or Twitter, Doc Wrestling 1. I'm out. Enjoy yourself. And thank you everybody for watching my videos, liking them, share them, subscribe, tell your friends about it. Let me know if there's anything that I could show you that you haven't already seen or thought about.